Oh, okay. Thank you very much, sir. Okay, so and making it a joy to build UIs for mobile apps. So it incorporates certain concepts familiar to modern development experiences like reactive programming and widget composition, while using the Dart platform as its main base of operation. So Flutter allows building cross-platform applications from a single code base. Now, what this means is that with a single code base, you can actually build an Android application and an Apple application, iOS, just with one base code. So instead of building an Android app separately with a base code and then using another set of base code or code base to build an iOS, you don't have to do both. You just use one code base and build both applications. So the Flutter team evaluated more than a dozen languages and picked that because it matched the way they were building user interfaces. Apps, web, desktop, programming language. So the key selling point here is write once, run everywhere. So in the course of this training, when we start building applications, you find out that you can actually use one code base to build an Android and at the same time build an iOS app. So I'm still going to give you further details on this. Let's see. So why choose Flutter? Is optimized for UI. And under that, you have asynchronous operations, customized UIs. Now, let me just give you a little detail about this. Asynchronous operations let your program complete work while waiting for another operation to finish. Now, an example of that is fetching data over a network, or writing to a database, or reading data from a file. Because most computers, even on mobile platforms, have multi-core CPUs. So to take advantage of all those cores, developers traditionally use shared memory threads running concurrently. The next point is cross-platform development. So the reason for this is because that has an AOT. AOT means ahead of time compiler, which compiles to fast, predictable native code that allows almost all of Flutter to be written in Dart. This not only makes Flutter fast, but ensures that virtually everything, including all the widgets, can be customized. So you see, under it, you have developed for iOS, Android, web, and desktop simultaneously. So it's more like killing two birds with one stone. Then consistent performance across platforms. Then you have productive development. One of the very lovely feature about this is hot reload. Instantly see changes during development. So if you want to, like when you're actually building apps and you make small changes, even as little as putting a text or a text box or text field or whatever widget, a container, the moment you hit the hot reload button, you see the changes immediately. Yes, so Flutter has a hot reload feature that helps you quickly and easily experiment, build UIs, add features, and fix bugs. Hot reload works by injecting code files into the running Dart virtual machine. So after the virtual machine updates classes with the new versions of fields and function, the Flutter framework automatically rebuilds the widget tree, allowing you to quickly view the effects of your changes. Yes, about hot reload. Then lastly, have growing popularity. It's backed by Google, yes, large and active developer community, increasing adoption by major companies. Yes, so these are reasons why one should choose Flutter. Let's go to the next slide. Okay, so development environment setup. Okay, this is what is required for you to set up Flutter on your machine. Now take note of this prerequisite. Flutter SDK. This will need to be installed, then set up Android Studio or VS Code. Now for the purpose of this training, or this course, you're going to be using VS Code for programming. Yes, to build apps. Although you're still going to have Android Studio because it's also a requirement, but Android Studio is way heavier, especially maybe for trainees whose minimum system requirement does not actually meet or handle that of Android Studio. Yes, so that and Flutter plugins. So I'm going to maybe like tell you how to go about installing this if you have not installed development environment Flutter on your machine. Then, okay, these are recommended tools: Android Studio with Flutter plugin, Visual Studio Code, Flutter Dev Tools for debugging, then the minimum system requirements. So, summary, students are expected to understand fundamentals of Flutter and that language. By the end of this week's course and subsequently, then be able to write simple Dart programs to solve problems, because the point of you writing programs is to be able to solve problems. And these problems are world problems. Yes, because people always have challenges or problems and they need people to solve them. So you're going to be creatively writing Dart programs to solve those problems. Problems in health, problems in education, in the job industry, you know, and wherever there's problem at all. Students are expected to successfully set up a development environment for Flutter and Dart. Then be prepared to create and build basic mobile apps. Remember, this is a beginner class. So like I said earlier, I'm going to be teaching you from the ground up. Yes, even if you don't have any knowledge of this. All right. So lastly, before the final slide, getting started with Dart. Okay, so the official language for Flutter development is Dart. Yes, of course, you have other programming languages like JavaScript, you have Java, Kotlin, and so on and so forth. Yes, but for Flutter, you're going to be using Dart primarily. Yes, it's object-oriented, class-based programming language. So key features in this introductory class is you have Dart syntax, variables, data types, and so on and so forth. So it's actually easy to learn, yes, especially for developers with JavaScript and Java background. But even if you don't have any of this background, it's consistent. I remember giving you a task and it was on grit. So it's going to be tested here. So all you just have to do is to be consistent, put in more effort. When you're giving tasks, ensure you do those tasks. That's it. All right. So that's the introduction into Flutter and Dart. So I'd like to know, please, is there any of you here that doesn't have Flutter installed in their local machine? Just raise up your hand if you don't have it installed in your local machine. Okay, we have Lucy. Okay, is it only Lucy? All right. Okay, we have Rosalind. Okay, okay. All right. All right, no problem. It's fine. So I'm going to put you guys through this. I'll drop resources on how you can actually install Flutter on your local machine. Yes, so it's not going to be a problem at all. I'll definitely guide you through. All right, so this is the end of the introduction class. So I'm going to move over to technical details. Yes, because there's a whole lot to do right now. Okay, so just for a moment, I'm going to be ending the recording right now. But